Hello everybody, welcome back to the table. So excited to show you these little tiny ships on a table. Oh man, I've got the blue, somewhat shimmery, dark North Atlantic cloth that I got. We'll get something better, but it was cheap. Anyway, here we've got those little tiny 1/6000 scale ships on the table, and I gotta tell you, this is exciting. I didn't think I would enjoy this, but let me tell you why I like this. A couple reasons, I think. Maybe we'll come up with three. But for one, it really helps give the sense of scale of the vastness of the ocean. Now, depending on the scenario, again, everything really depends on your rule set scenarios that you're playing. But a lot of games that my son and I done so far, like Battle of the River Plate, Bering Strait, Denmark, one of them, Denmark Strait, I don't know, there's so many straits out there. But you're given just a few ships aside, and usually they kind of start off on opposite ends of the table. So I've actually kind of moved these in a little bit, and they still got some distance between them because they're small. If you're playing with something big, I don't know, you really lose that sense of terrain scale where things don't feel like miles apart. In this scale, this is actually still maybe only a few miles apart. It's not, you know, even this still doesn't kind of represent that 15 miles that they could engage. I was reading somewhere that ships really only engaged within a few miles of each other anyway. Maybe that was World War I. But either way, this looks better as far as that figure scale to terrain scale, I think. Downside is, it's really hard to enjoy the battle when you got to get in close to see your ships. Now, I could see how if you had a bunch of these, if you didn't have like a real fancy base or some kind of flag or something, you might forget who's what. I don't know if you saw this before, but I just wrote on the back the ship name, Bismarck. So if I forget, so a lot of it has to do with memory. Now, with a small game like this, I know that's my Bismarck, I know that's my Prince Eugen. And over here I've got a Hood, and I've got the Prince of Wales. I know this one's Hood. Hood was like a battle cruiser, so it's got a nice, slim, sleek stylings to it. Ah, it's gorgeous. And then the Prince of Wales is a little shorter, a little bit thicker, newer ship. It's got 4 guns on the turrets. It has on the front another secondary main turret that's got 2 cannons on it. I shouldn't say turrets. It's got 3 turrets total, but 2 of the turrets have 4 guns each. What's amazing. Now, somewhere, somebody said that you can actually find somebody who makes little tiny ship decals that you can stick on the back of these 1/6000 scale ships. I haven't seen anything, and I'm not brave enough to try and paint. I thought maybe I might do red for Germans, kind of the white for the British, kind of a, I don't know. That's all I got so far. So I don't know how I want to do that. But here's the cool thing. Trying out General Quarters 3. I'm going to play it this weekend with some friends actually, just so I can really kind of learn the game. But it measures in centimeters when you do this scale. Now, one reason why I like the scale for gaming, not for modeling, let me make that clear. There's a big difference between what I would like to look at visually and play with. I'm really digging the small pieces to play with, but some of that visual impact is lost. So I'm actually thinking of just getting bigger models for, say, smaller games, or just bigger models just for something to look at. But as far as actually wanting to get down here and kind of simulate some warfare, I like the idea of these smaller scale. But anyway, with General Quarters 3, a centimeter is like a knot of movement. So if your ship could move 24 knots, now 24 centimeters is still pretty far along here. So if I took my Bismarck, moved it up here to the 24 centimeter mark, in a way it still looks like it moved pretty far, but in the grand scheme of things, it still leaves quite a bit of distance between the opposing ships. And I thought that was great. That actually gives you a chance for some maneuvering. Also, the bigger scale you play and the more ships you put down, it starts to feel like a naval parking lot, and it doesn't give you realistic movement. So I'm really, really learning why people, when they can, they play on like living room floors or big open spaces to help simulate that vastness of ocean. But on a 6x4 table, I think this is a great compromise for me. I really like it. I know a lot of people play the 1/2400 scale, and so I'm still thinking of getting some scales to experiment with. But just starting out, I don't think this was a bad purchase. I spent like $40 and ended up getting quite a few ships actually, and so I just need to paint them. I just got a few here, but let me show you something else that's kind of fun. One thing I did was I took some fire markers from my tanks game. I bought some anyway, so if you have fire, because a lot of these games your ships can catch on fire, and I thought I don't have to use the entire flame marker, just use the one little flame, like, oh, it's just a marker, indicates that they're on fire, or you can even say it's sunk or something if you needed to at some point. I thought that's kind of cool. Like, oh, they're burning. And then if, let's say you do a game they can have multiple fires, I just put 2 on there. Oh man, and then if they got 3, it's cool looking. I thought that's awesome. Yeah, and then for splashes, I use this, so far this has worked good for like any scale. Just take some here, just rip it right off the old cotton ball. Now with these smaller ships, you probably really only need a little tiny bit. That's a pretty big splash coming in from the Prince of Wales, but that thing's got 14-inch guns and the hood's got 15, so that probably makes a pretty good size splash. But just little things make these little minis pop pretty good. I don't know, it's pretty fun. I'm pretty excited. I'm really enjoying the naval warfare. Probably a couple reasons why I'm enjoying it is because you can get into it probably cheaper than, say, getting into full scale of a lot of contemporary like World War II type stuff. You can get like starter kits for bolt action, and those are still kind of pricey. If you got yourself maybe just a couple boxes of like 15mm scale infantry from like Plastic Soldier Company, and you could do some skirmish level gaming that way, that's sort of affordable too. But I have found overall so far that if you find the cheap ships like what I'm using here, paint them up a little bit, grab yourself a cheap blue cloth to simulate water, and you're off and running. So this is definitely something I want to keep playing with, and I'll just keep bringing you along for the journey. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope, I don't know when, but I wouldn't mind, I think, I don't know, as soon as possible I would love to put up like some General Quarters 3 gameplay. We've done Naval Thunder, and I wouldn't mind comparing that with, at least like with General Quarters. I bought Command at Sea, and I probably won't play that one. That one, it has a lot of, I don't know, I would need someone to teach me that one, I think. It's got some simple mechanics, but at the same time it's got a lot of detail that I just don't find enjoyable. I think there's like a simulation, and then there's a simulation that is still a fun game to play. And to me so far, General Quarters is going down the simulation route, but is actually still kind of fun with the gunnery chart. But Naval Thunder is really fun, still has some details to it. But I went to Command at Sea, and that one just looks more like a chore than a fun game. So I probably won't show you that one. So probably we'll be playing a lot of Naval Thunder and General Quarters 3 with these little ships. Probably the first game that I'll play for you, and hopefully with my son, is we'll do again Bismarck, Prince Eugen against Hood, Prince of Wales, and then we'll go back with the small ships and maybe do River of the Battle Plate and see how differently that plays out with ships that have a lot more room to maneuver. It'll be fun. I'm going to have fun. I hope you have fun too. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and may the dice be ever in your favor. Yeah, I hope that sounded kind of corny-ish, but kind of fun. I don't know if anybody else ends their videos that way, but hey, May the dice be ever in your favor. See you later.